So thanks everyone and good afternoon. Thanks for joining us for our Accelerate Your Business at Lunch. Today is our final session with Tracy Smith, and I know a number of you have been on the previous sessions, so we're looking forward to today's session all about email marketing. This session is brought to you by the Accelerate Business Recovery Virtual Hub, sponsored by Desjardins Insurance and partially funded by Employment Ontario, the Ontario government, and the Canadian government. As I mentioned, today's session is all about mastering email marketing, and the presentation is led by Tracy Smith. Tracy is the founder of Kitchen Table CEOs. She helps women entrepreneurs and small businesses just like you accelerate their business growth. Her business strategies focus on websites that drive sales, copywriting that persuades, and email marketing that nurtures and converts. Tracy is a longtime Aurora resident, and we're talking since before Home Depot and Walmart arrived in town. And she's really looking forward to today's presentation, where she can share her expertise and help all of you master email marketing and how you can implement it on your website in no time at all. So I will turn it over to you, Tracy.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Sandra. This is great. So this is our, I think, third of three. So I see happy lunch hour. I see some familiar faces, some new ones. So thank you so much for joining me today and for supporting these sessions. And this is my last, like I said, of 3 lunch sessions that we've done in February. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who has come, who's tuned in. I so appreciate that. And also thank you to Sandra, thank you to the Aurora Chamber of Commerce for this opportunity and just for providing programs like this that can help all of us access more information to help us with our businesses. So that is awesome. Today we are talking all about email marketing. And as we move through the presentation, I want you to know, especially when we're dealing with something that maybe everyone has heard the term but doesn't know in great detail, there are absolutely no silly questions. I would prefer you leave today with all of your questions answered, feeling like, oh wow, now I know what all those terms mean, versus wondering what the heck I was talking about on slide 14 and not saying anything. So ask away. That's what the chat is for. Test it out. Put a little wave emoji. Say hi in there. We use the chat a lot when I'm talking. So pop in there. Let me know you are with me. That's awesome. So I know there's a lot of familiar faces, but for those who are new today, just super quick, a little bit about me. Like Sandra said, I've been a long-term Aurora resident. I moved to Aurora in 1989, grade 5. I went to Aurora Senior Public School, Aurora High. My first job was at, oh, it's cut off a little bit there, sorry. My first job was at Wellington Video. I've been in the communication field for 20 years. And like Sandra also said, you know, my focus is on email marketing, copywriting, and websites. I am the founder of Kitchen Table CEOs. I launched a week before COVID hit, whoop whoop, and I've got a really super cute dog named Oak. If you see us walk in the streets, say hi. I've put my website down there, kitchentableCEOs.com, and you can find me on social at kitchentableCEOs. So by all means, take a snap, a clip of what we're doing here today, post it on social, or just come by and say hi. You were at the chamber presentation. I would love to meet with you, connect, and show you support back afterwards. So by all means, come say hi on social, visit the website, send an email. It's just Tracy at kitchentableCEOs.com. So back to today's subject, mastering email marketing. And this is a biggie. I've really tried in today's presentation to break this mammoth word and concept down into simple bite-sized pieces so we can all understand it a little bit better, picture how it can be such a huge benefit to our specific business, and show you the steps that you need to take to get this marketing tool working for you in the next 10 days if you are so brave and keen. Maybe you're here because you want to learn about email marketing. Maybe you want to launch your email list. Maybe you already have a list, but you're not exactly sure how best to use it, or you want to use it a bit better or grow it. No matter your reason, you are all in the right place today. Before we jump in, if you could just hop in the chat section and let me know, do you currently send emails to your customers and or have an active email list? Yes or no? If you can just hop in. Robin's MailChimp, okay, cool. Adela's yes. Melissa, no, don't worry, we're gonna get that new biz hooked up. Heidi, yes. Ibai, no. Okay, good, great. So that just gives me an idea. We're about half and half. So like the slide says, how the heck do we master email marketing? Okay, I've broken it down into 3 categories. So today, number 1, we're going to talk about understand why you need email marketing and how you will use it. It really is a no-brainer when we break it down. Number 2, we're going to talk about how to start our email marketing program and get it connected. Some of you are already there, but hopefully I can help you understand it a little bit better and how it's set up. And number 3, we're going to talk about how to promote our email marketing program so it grows and we keep getting more emails and make it work more and more for us. So that's what we're going to cover off today. So just a gentle reminder, you are here. If you want to get the most out of today's lunch, let's put away, oops, I forgot to change, that was last week's little image. Put your phones away, turn off all distractions, and just zone in with me for a few minutes, and let's take in as much as we can. So we said number 1 was understand why we need email marketing and how we are going to use it. So first off, and again, I'm big on like slamming down the jargon terms. Even me as a professional who does this all the time, there's terms that I think about and I'm like, okay, I use that, but what exactly does it mean? So email marketing, all it means is using email as a part of your marketing efforts to promote your business, your services, and your products, and to build customer loyalty. So it's just using emails that we send out to our customers as a tool in our marketing. Just like other tools like social media or a website, email is a tool, and that's all that email marketing is. So what does that really look like in your world? It could be sending out a monthly newsletter. It could be sharing important news. It could be tips and articles that you send out to serve your clients. I know we have some product people, some service people. It could be schedules, new hours, course signups, a new product or service that you're offering, appointment time availables. It could be to obviously sell some items that you're selling, or an announcement of new staff. These are all just 8 simple, easy ways or topics that you could use in your email marketing. So what's so great about email marketing? Well, we have direct access to our customers, okay? You own your list, not Mark Zuckerberg, not the owner of Twitter. You own your list. And I think sometimes we forget about that. Like if your social media was to drop tomorrow and you got hacked, which I've been hearing a lot of people about, and you lost your entire list, all your followers, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever your place is, how would that make you feel? And how would that affect your ability to sell and market yourself? And if your stomach just dropped, maybe you're too dependent on social, right? We want to be less dependent on social media, or even our website. What if our website crashed and we wanted to shout out something or tell somebody about a product?
And then once they've done that, he'll get back to us if they have any questions.
Can everybody just make sure they're on mute? That's great. So we're less dependent on social and direct access to our customers. You know, when you post on something on social, we have this false sense that everybody sees it. Our 1,000 of followers, our 500 followers, our 10,000 followers, only about 3 to 10% of people will actually see what you post. Versus if you send an email and you have the right email, there's 100% chance that that person is going to at least get your email and have a chance of opening that. That's pretty powerful when you consider your efforts and the amount of time maybe that you are spending on social. You can automate your email list so it can go out and be scheduled. Okay, there's no algorithms to worry about. You know it gets to them, and it's a heck of a lot better than phoning people, right? Do you want to give your ability to market and reach your customers over to Mark Zuckerberg 100%? That wouldn't be smart business, right? So drop an emoji in the chat section or a word. How would you feel in those questions I asked earlier? Like if you lost your social account today and all your followers, or your website crashed and you knew it was out for a week as you were promoting something, how would that make you feel? Okay, so drop an emoji or an adjective or a feeling into the chat section. How would that make you feel as far as your ability to market to people? Or how would you be able to reach people if that happened to you? Sandra says devastating. Yeah, for a lot of us, for sure. Yeah, I like that emoji. So I know how I would communicate with people if that happened to me. If I lost my social and I lost my website, I would switch to my email marketing and I would still have that. So that is the power of email marketing and why it's so great. So let's say, and again, what this might look like in your world, let's say you have an appointment cancellation and you want to fill that, or your hours are changing. You're launching something. You're having a massive clear out sale. You're moving. Oh my gosh, how are people going to know? You're collaborating with somebody really influential. Like Sandra, I know the Chamber, they had a really special guest last week. You have a special event, okay? You want to share a tip or you want to shout somebody out. How are you going to tell your customers? Is it social? Is it on your website? Or is it a combination of things? So I just want you to start thinking about all these ways, different ways you can use your email marketing. Melissa says she would feel horrible. That's why she saves her lists outside of social and email. Smart. And now we got to convert those people on your email list, Melissa. Okay. So who could say no? Email marketing is an opportunity to increase brand awareness, increase website traffic, drive people to your traffic with links, increase your sales. Okay, build customer loyalty so they feel like you care. It's a way to get information getting to your clients. Who really can argue with that? And again, you own your list and you have direct access to people. So these are the three things I often hear when I say, hey, you need an email list. I don't want to be spammy. Everybody gets way too many emails. Who can agree with that? I can. But you know what? The difference is, if you think about, if I got some moms on here, the amount of Gap emails you get, 40% off today, 40% off today, 40% off tomorrow, 40% off yesterday, like they're all, I never open those because either I'm not ready to buy or all they're doing is selling. They don't provide any value to me unless I happen to need a white t-shirt that happens to pop up in that email. It's not providing any value to me. So we're not talking email in your list every week. Every day, maybe every week, depending. But we're also talking about knowing our client well enough that you're providing them value. You're not emailing them every week saying, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me. But you are emailing them every week saying, hey, you might want to know this, or guess what's happening, or here's a tip. And on the fourth one, we're selling this, want some? So it's a balance. You're not always selling and you're not sending too many emails. That's important, okay? So we can have email marketing without being spammy, but you need to know your clients well enough to know how to give them information that is useful. So they look forward to opening up your emails. The second one is my list isn't big enough, okay? It only takes one person to make a sale. So if you have one person on your list, you've got an email list and you're ready to grow it, okay? That one person could buy something and that's one more sale than you had before, okay? So all I hear from massive influencers and marketers, I wish I started my email list earlier. So if that is your reason that your list isn't big enough, that's not a reason to not do email marketing. It's a reason to do email marketing and then invest in those strategies that I'm going to talk about. How are you going to grow your list, right? So, and it's too much work, okay? I can guarantee that most of you are spending a heck of a lot more time on your social posts than email marketing takes. And like I said, think about your efforts and what they're giving you back. Maybe it's time to take some of that energy and put it over to email marketing where you know you're reaching your clients. The other thing is, like I said, there is automation and there are ways to make it a lot less impact on work. Like anything, there's some learning, but the automation and working behind the scenes, it doesn't have to be the work that maybe you're imagining it is, okay? And if anybody has any questions as we go, pop them in the chat, okay? I know this is a lot today. So, are you convinced? Yes or no in the chat section. Email marketing is a must for entrepreneurs and small businesses. If you're convinced, if you know it is a great tool, pop yes in the chat or a thumbs up. Okay. As we were talking, I want to know, did you have any new ideas of, I never thought about using email marketing for that? You know what I mean? I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce Faisal is saying, of course. Melissa, I am, but don't want to be invasive. Sandra, yes and yes. Robin, yes. Of course, email marketing is a must, right? But let me know if you had any specific ideas pop in your head, like, hey, wait a second, I didn't think about using that or sending that type of message. If you had any brainwaves while I have been talking, pop those in so we can sort of share with everybody the ideas and how we might use our email marketing. So I want to know, and in the chat section would be ideal, what is your why? Based on what we've talked about, what is your why? Why is email marketing important to you, and how can you see yourself using it? So like I said, some of those ideas we brainstorm or questions I asked, if a light bulb went off for you or you thought, oh, okay, I'm going to add that, how are you going to use email marketing for your business? What sort of strategies or specific tie-ins resonate the best with you? So Robin says, keeping in touch with our client base. Okay, great. Melissa says, to reach my target audience. Let's go even deeper though. What were some of those things I said? Are you going to provide articles? Are you going to send out newsletters? Are you going to tell them about special events? What are some of those things that you're going to build in? Okay, so we know why we need email marketing, and we know how we are going to use it. Now what? Number 2, we're going to start our email marketing program and we're going to get it connected. Now, I know some of you already mentioned that you're on MailChimp or something like that. For those of you who haven't, or maybe you're not happy with your platform, we're going to talk about that a little bit. So it's time to connect your email marketing program and get it operational. Faisal says, I believe it depends on my demographics. Like, not all my clients are active on social. Besides, emails, I believe, have a longer shelf life. For sure. And like I said, the percentage of reach on social is 3 to 10% versus a typical open rate of an email, if you're doing okay, is 25 to 30. So I would take that any day over maybe 3 to 5%, right? And it's okay to overlap. It feels like you're sending the same thing out all the time, but it's totally okay to overlap your messaging with social and email, because hopefully it gets to them somehow. So like I said, it's time to connect your email marketing program and get it operational. So the first step is to choose an email platform. Now, fancy words aside, all an email platform is a computer program that helps you manage your emails. So you're not running your email through your own personal Outlook account. These platforms have lots of tools, templates, tricks, and features that make email a lot easier, more professional, have strategy behind it, and link to other stuff you do. Okay, so that's all an email platform is it's like it's a housing center that basically helps you send out those emails, organize them, and we're going to talk a bit more about that. So there's many options out there. There are a lot to choose from, all with funky names, of course, and all with different pros and cons. Here are some that you may or may not have heard of. So we've got MailChimp, the mammoth, Klaviyo, MailerLite. I hear a lot of small businesses and entrepreneurs use, Constant Contact, ConvertKit, Flowdesk. I put stars there just because that's the one I use. An ActiveCampaign. There are tens more, but these are just some of the biggies that you may have heard, and I also Googled that are good for small businesses. So when you are choosing a platform, there's a few things to think about. do you need to integrate with an e-commerce site? And when I say e-commerce, it just means, do you have a checkout on your website where people are actually buying products and services? The reason why you want to think about that is some of these platforms link directly to the e-commerce sites easier, so that when you're creating an email, there might be an option to say, hey, add a product, and then you click it, and then your catalog opens up. All right, so do I need to connect with an e-commerce site with products and catalogs and collections like Shopify or something like that? Okay, the second thing is, do you, and as an example, Klaviyo on the previous slide, I have used as one specific to connect with Shopify that works well. Do you want to be able to automate? Okay, I highly recommend. This way it can work in the background. You can schedule emails, and you will notice sometimes on the tiers that they will put automation on a higher tier. So when you're looking at pricing, making sure you have the ability to automate. Okay, and is user-friendly or customer support super important to you? Hey, it is to me, even though I'm an expert and help people. Hey, I am popping in that support line, aggravating them as much as I can, getting as many questions as I can answered. That's what they're there for, right? So are you doing this and getting neck deep, or do you have maybe a techie person on staff that you're just going to say, hey, we need this email marketing program up and running, let's go. And they want to get in the weeds on that. So it's all really important. So some of the reasons I picked Flowdesk was it was a very clean interface, very easy to understand. It doesn't penalize you as your list grows. Some of them will say, up to 1,000 is one price, up to 2,000 is another price. So take a look at all of those things and see what feels right. Sometimes you will land on a site and just say, oh my gosh, this is peaceful, easy to understand. That's one reason I don't love MailChimp. I feel like it's almost like, and no offense to my accountants out there, but it feels like somebody that's very like number-based, not as creative, sort of created it, just because it's not intuitive where you go. Things aren't labeled super easy. And again, no offense to the MailChimp people. If it is working, it is a mammoth and it integrates with a lot, but it's not the be-all end-all. That's all I'm saying. So lots to think about with your platform. Just do it, okay? I want you to weigh the pros and cons. I want you to pick one day, do some searches, and just get out of your way. Find one that seems pretty good and just choose it, okay? You can always switch. The beauty with these things is email lists are all just Excel spreadsheets if you're trying to take your people with you. So if you decided, I think Robin was in MailChimp, if you decided, MailChimp is too messy, I want to switch over to MailerLite or Flowdesk, all it is downloading an Excel spreadsheet, uploading it to the next platform, and you have your list with you. So I don't want you to think that this is something you need to think about for a month or a year and it hinders your progress, okay? Get out of your own way, weigh the pros and cons, and just choose. Don't become a statistic of a person that thought about it for 3 years and then never really jumped on the email marketing train. Like I said, you can always export your list and switch. So get the job done, choose one, go for it. A lot of times they have a 30-day free trial too, and so those can really help. Okay, so once you choose your platform and you get inside of it, I want you to spend a bit of time clicking and checking things out. It can be a little bit overwhelming because there are some unique terms and it can be like, whoa, what is everybody talking about here? But it definitely won't be overwhelming for all of you smart people, because I'm going to break them all down for you and give you a really good working knowledge of what the terminology means. And I wish somebody did that for me. Now, each platform is a bit unique on how it's set up, but you will find these terms pretty universal. So the main 4 terms that I'm going to talk to you about today that's really going to help you are forms, okay? Forms are just how you get the email addresses. Excuse me. You know the little boxes you fill out? So those are all forms of how you are collecting the email addresses. Emails, okay? These are obviously just the messages that you are sending, but there are a few different types, okay? The word audience, and it's a little more complicated than it seems. So it's who you're sending your emails to. And then the fourth are the words sequence and flows. Okay, I'm going to go through each of these to give you a better understanding of the inner workings of email platforms and email marketing. So let's start with forms. Okay, like I said, these are the areas, the little boxes where people add their email addresses. Sometimes they're called opt-ins or opt-in forms because people are opting in or choosing to give their emails to you. There's three types we're going to talk about today: full page, pop-ups, and inline forms. So the full page might look something like this. This is one of mine. It's lots of times you'll be somewhere and they'll say, click a link to download this. And a new page opens up with a space to enter your name, your email, it might have a message and a picture. So this is an example. You've gone to a whole new page, and that's why we call it a full page opt-in form, because it's a new URL. You just click a button and a new web address pops up. Voila, here it is. These are often used when you sign up for something or you're offered a free download, much like this one. This is my 40 plus free topic ideas for your next email, post, or blog. You can click the link in my Instagram bio and you can see an example of this full page inline form. The second type of form is an inline form, okay? And this type is embedded in line, hence the name, on your website. Okay, there's no clicking and going to a different page. You just see the box, you enter your email, and it automatically connects with your platform. Have you guys seen one of these? Put a thumbs up and let me know. Do you have one on your website already? Have you used one? I'm sure you have. Just pop a yes in the chat section so I know you're still with me and haven't run to the kitchen to the microwave. Ibai, yes. Okay, good. Good. So this is called an inline form. Oops, what did I just do there? Sorry. Okay, and the third type of form is a pop-up form, and it looks like this. You're on a website, and then all of a sudden this pop-up window comes and says, hey, do you want 10% on your purchase? Or hey, do you want to register for this? I'm sure you've all seen those, because sometimes when they're not set up correctly, they can be really annoying, and every page you go to, they keep popping up, or they're too big and you can't exit out of them. But that is a pop-up message. That's what we call a pop-up form. You can usually set these up to pop up 10, 20, 30 seconds after people land on your website. They can be really strategic. So all of these forms you can create usually within your email platform. It takes a bit of work working through it, but remember, use the support and help options as much as you need. If you see a term that you don't know, if you come up to something and something's not working, use that support button. That's how you will learn, okay? Unless you are an email marketing expert, and even myself, I'm teaching you, I use the support all the time, okay? So don't use that, oh my gosh, I don't know what that means, so that's not working, as a, I'm out of here. Okay, use it as a fail forward moment and ask for help, and think of that, wow, I'm gonna learn so much more and know so much more as soon as I get the answer, okay? You're bound to have a few learning experiences along the way, but that's normal when we're growing and we're doing something new, okay? So that is what a form is. Okay, any questions on forms? In the chat section, any questions? All right, I'll keep going. If I see something, I'll come back. So the second term we're going to talk about is emails. Now, this is easy peasy, right? They're the messages that you're going to send, but they're often called, just to confuse you, they're often called a campaign. I know in MailChimp, that's what they're called, because each email that you send out, or each group of emails that you send out, should have a purpose. And that's what they call a campaign, because it's like, okay, I'm going to start a new campaign because the purpose of this email or campaign is to get you to buy the product. Okay, I'm going to start or create another email or campaign, and the purpose of this email or campaign is just to serve and provide information. So sometimes your emails are called campaigns, but it's just the message that you're sending out and the purpose. So there's different types of emails. We've got real-time and scheduled and single versus sequence. So let's dive in. Most email platforms, just so you know too, they also have templates to help you with designing your emails, so that if that's really important to you and you want them to look a certain way, be sure when you're checking out the email platforms to see what sort of templates they have and if you like them, okay? So diving a bit deeper on emails. Real-time versus scheduled. So real-time email would be something, oh, I'm going to send out an email to everybody. Okay, telling them that I have a chamber presentation in 2 hours and I'm going to send that out right now. Send, and it goes, right? Versus scheduled would mean, okay, I know I'm not going to have time next Tuesday morning to send this out because I'm going to be crazy busy getting ready. I'm going to draft this email last Wednesday and I'm going to send it out Tuesday, 10 a.m. to my entire audience, telling them that I'm going live at noon. And I've scheduled that email. Okay, so there's two differences. We can schedule them to go out. It allows you to batch work, plan ahead, and be strategic and take a vacation, my small business owners. You need to take one. So there's the magic, okay? The schedule piece is the total magic. So single versus sequence. Single emails, again, just one. Hey, I'm going live. Come see me. Here's the link. Or here's my newsletter. I'm just sending one email out. It has one purpose and it's done, right? Newsletters, I'm closing early today. There's a new appointment available, but a sequence or a flow or a series of emails is more than one email grouped together, but sent out automatically on a set schedule. I'm going to get into this more, but it would be like a group of emails that is still a campaign with a purpose. Maybe I'm telling you all about, my 5 different categories of products. And every week I'm going to send you out, a new category with a feature, with a discount, with some information, but they're pre-written, they're pre-scheduled, and they're a sequence of emails. Okay, that's all you need to know at this stage. But there's single emails, you just send out one and done. And then there's a sequence, which is a group of emails that work together to do something. Okay, and we'll talk a little bit more about it in a little bit. So the third term is audience. This is simply the people on your email list, the ones who have opted in or that you have collected their email addresses, okay? You don't want everybody on your email list. You want people that match your ideal customers, okay? And there's organizational tools within your email platform to organize your audience into segments and tags. Okay, there's no point in collecting emails from people that would never buy from you. So think about whose emails you are collecting and how, and try to match that up, okay? And on the ideal client thing, if you don't know who your ideal client is, or you think it's anyone and everyone of all ages, think again, okay? If you own a local paint store, you're not selling to kids or people in the US or to super high income people that hire everyone to do everything. If you make jewelry, you're likely marketing predominantly to women. And what's your price point, right? What type of things do you create? Is it for younger people, kids, adults, older people? So you really aren't selling to anyone, everyone of all ages if you think deeper, okay? And if you need help with that, I have created an entire workbook with lots of exercises so you can really hone in, know more about your ideal client, and it will really help with your email marketing, where to reach them. And if you go to my website, kitchentableCEOs.com, click on template shop, and just look for ideal client workbook, and that's in there and could be very helpful. So segments, again, we have our audience, who is everybody who's opted in, and then we have these segments, and all that is a fancy word for categories that you put your audience into. So every person that joins your list is always a part of your overall audience, but you can also put them into segments to better communicate to them or know and note their interests. So for example, someone who has purchased a specific product, or maybe they haven't made a purchase yet, or somebody who subscribes and is like, if you're a chiropractor, maybe they only come to you for massage. You know, they haven't come to chiropractic yet. It's ways of segmenting your audience. We're gonna go a bit more in detail. So here's a segment example. You run a psychotherapy clinic that serves adults and youth, or anxiety and couples therapy, okay? It would be useful to segment your entire audience into what type of therapy they receive, and or if they're an adult or a youth client, right? So how segments help? You want to send a newsletter with youth-related articles. Your couples therapy clients probably aren't that interested, so you want to make sure that you have a segment where you can say, oh, I'm just going to send it to the kid clients, or the clients that have kids. Or your couples therapist has an opening. Don't bug the youth clients or anxiety clients with the email. You want to target in on your couple therapy clients, right? And so this is another way that you're not spammy. If you segment your audience, you can reduce the spam, because you're not just sending out every message to everybody, you're actually serving people in unique ways. Can you see the importance of segmenting? Drop a thumbs up in the chats if you can start to picture in your own business how you can begin to segment your audience to better serve them. Sandra says, absolutely, thank you. So if you're a visual person, we're gonna look through another example. Okay, so we have a nutrition practice this time. So the blue circle is our main audience. Everybody is in the blue circle. So if I wanna send a newsletter out to everybody, if I'm on mat leave and everybody needs to know, I can still message out to everybody, okay? But, and this happened to me this week, I have a client and they are a nutrition practice, and one of the nutritionists serves kids and one of them serves athletes. So they're like, how do we set up our email list? Well, you would make sure that you had two segments, one for your kid clients and one for your athlete clients, right? And then maybe you further segment it down to your in-person people versus your virtual. This is just an example. So think of segments as folders. You're not removing anyone from your main audience, but you're adding them to groups that will better help you target or reach them. And they can be in more than one group. I have some people, maybe some of you actually, that are literally in 10 of my segments, right? So if you download something, you're in that segment. If you've attended a chamber event, you might be in that segment, and it go, et cetera, et cetera. My words are slipping from me. So here's the power of segments. You're sending out a newsletter all about kids' nutrition. Who does it go to? We're not going to send it to the athletes. You have a virtual only appointment available. Who do you notify? You're not going to send it to the people who only come in person. Okay? You're selling a new line of performance-driven sports drinks and you want to market the heck out of it. Well, who would you most likely market to? Your athletes, not your kids, right? And you're not bugging the kid people with emails that are not serving them, because then they might unsubscribe because they're like, wow, this person really doesn't get me. Right? I'm a kid, my kid comes, I only do in-person appointments and I'm not interested in that stuff, right? So Ficelle says, this is another advantage of emails over social, 1000%. So tags is another word that you will see. It's similar to segmenting. Just think about it as another way of identifying people on your list. It's like attaching a keyword on their file. So cookbook purchase, Montreal event, prefers evenings. So it's just another, some people use tags instead of segments, vice versa. You just have to get to know your platform and how they're used, okay? So in the nutrition example, maybe we're tagging under 5 years old, met at event, eating disorder, something like that. So they're not in the main category, but there's just another way of tagging. So the fourth term we're going to talk about having to do with email platforms that I know you want to know about is sequence or flows. Okay, there's various terms to talk about these, again, depending on, I think MailChimp, they call it automations, sequence flows on mine. But all it is a series of multiple emails that are pre-planned, pre-written, and grouped together. Think about it like a flow chart. Okay, so let's say we have 3 emails. Okay, somebody's going to enter the flow when something happens, and then they're going to get email number 1. And then after that, a few days go by, whatever you decide, they're going to get email number 2. And then they're going to get email number 3. And then they're going to exit the flow. Okay, so each sequence or flow has a goal. So one example, a word you might have heard is a welcome sequence or a nurture sequence. And this would be like a 3 to 5 part email sequence that is pre-written, pre-planned. And so when anybody enters your audience as a new person, they would get added to your welcome sequence and get sent those 3 emails. And the goal would be to welcome them, to nurture them, to tell them all about what you do and how you can serve them, right? So you teach your platform, if X happens, then that person is added to X sequence, and they go through a series of emails with a goal to it. It's a bit complicated. Please let me know in the chat. Thumbs up, you're getting it. Any questions you have. Flows, to be honest, are game changers because they are automated and they nurture and talk to your audience when you're busy working on other things. You write the emails up, you set them up in a sequence, you decide how much time you want to pass in between each emails, and then they just happen. Aha! Okay, I love it. Heidi and Fasal, I hope I'm saying that right. Say they get it. Okay, so I hope that maybe you've only been doing, real-time one-off emails, but these sequences are very powerful because once you set them up, they run in the background and they're talking and doing their job without you doing anything. So let's look at an example. Remember, pre-written happens automatically. So I have created a sequence that stipulates when anyone is added to my email list, ... they will get added to my welcome sequence or flow or series, whatever you want to call it. So maybe I have set it up so that email number 1 goes out and it welcomes them to my business on day 1. And then email number 2, 5 days later at 10 a.m., tells them about me and how I can help. Email number 3 invites them to connect to me on social on day 14 at 2 p.m. because I know that's another popular time for people to open their emails. And then email number 4 goes out on day 20 and provides them a coupon, right? So the beauty of this is that it constantly is happening. If someone joins my list yesterday, they get added to my welcome sequence yesterday. If I attend an event with all of you in 4 weeks from now and somehow get all of your emails, well, then you start on email 1 of the welcome sequence 4 weeks from now, right? It keeps working. And for that reason, you don't want time-sensitive information in your sequences because people get them at different times. You have to be a bit conscious of that. Another example of a sequence that most of us would be aware of would be an empty cart sequence that I'm sure you're all aware of. So it goes something like this. Anyone adds a product to their cart from this store, but they leave without purchasing. The email platforms know that that person is going to get added to the empty cart sequence, flow, series, whatever your email platform calls it. And then automatically, day 1, they're going to get the first email that says, oops, looks like you forgot something, reminder. Day 2, time is running out, there's only a few left. Day 4, another email, here's a 15% off discount to help you with your purchase. These are pre-written, pre-planned, and they're just happening anytime the requirements are met. So in this case, a person has something in their cart and then leaves. Ibai asks, does it recognize if that person is already receiving the sequence? An amazing question, because you panic, right? You're like, oh my gosh, Sandra's already a part of my sequence and she just attended this, and is she going to get the welcome sequence all again? No, if they're using the same email, the platform will recognize, oh, Tracy's already done the welcome sequence, we're not going to add her in again. The only time would be is if somebody uses a different email, then they might get popped in there. But for the most part, they totally recognize if somebody has done a sequence already, and they won't bug them and it won't repeat. So great question. So drop a thumbs up emoji in the chat section if you personally have gone through an empty cart sequence, and a money emoji if it works. If you've ever gotten that one, like, hey, did you forget? Here's a 15% off discount, and it got you. So there you go, Melissa. That is proof that these things work, right? You've got it, and hopefully it motivated you to buy. Again, you don't want to be too pushy, but lots of times we're purchasing and we get distracted and we forget, right? Oh, Ibai says yes, and it irritated me. Okay, well, fine line. You have to find out what works for your brand, who you want to be. Maybe you're only sending one reminder email, right? If that's a concern, maybe you're just saying, hey, we noticed you forgot something. Here's a 15% discount to sweeten the deal, and that's it, because you don't want to go overboard, and that's better and feels more authentic to you, and that is totally fine. Faisal says, well, abandoned cart sequences have got me at times. Well, there you go. So again, you have to pick what's authentic to you, but we are still in business. So we want to make sure that we're doing our job and getting as many sales as we can. So how does it all work? This is the sequencing. Someone visits your website, right? They add their email to your website in an inline form. They automatically get added to your audience on your email platform, as an example, MailChimp. They will also automatically get added to the website Inline Form segment, because we wanted to track where everyone was coming from, because you set it up that way. Then your welcome sequence kicks in, recognizes someone new has been added to your main audience, and that the welcome sequence will begin sending out to this person the next 3 emails automatically, because you set it up that way. Okay, so Melissa says, now I know to wait for the discount. Not everyone is set up like that in the empty cart sequence, but oftentimes, yes, if you do wait, they sweeten the deal as the days go by. So you're welcome. Okay, so I know this is a lot of terminology, but I want you to have a rough idea of what all the terms mean when you jump into this, so we can lower the overwhelm a wee bit. So it takes practice. Your email marketing will evolve like everything. Start by picking your platform, okay, get it set up and send some one-off emails, okay? And then automate one or schedule one, and then work your way into sequences. It doesn't have to be all or anything. Starting is the most important part. Okay, so the third piece that we talked about is how to promote your email marketing program and get it working for you. There's no point to have an email list and a platform all set up if you never use it, you never talk about it, and you don't do anything to promote people to give you their email addresses. So we are going to start collecting emails and start promoting it. If you have 2 emails or potential or current customers, like I said, you have an email list already. So let's grow it. But how? I'm going to show you a number of different free ways to collect people's emails. No buying spammy lists. So how to get emails? We've got the simple notebook at checkout. Hey, if you have somebody that loves you and loves your store and you have a little notebook set up, gather some emails that way. I'm cool. That's old school. I love it. But I will say, on top of everything, we all get so many emails. So any of these strategies that I mentioned, you need to add something instead of just, hey, give me your email because I said so. Like, why? What's in it for me? So instead of saying, give me your email, you could say, if you give me your email, I promise to send you this, or you will receive X, right? So you need to tell them why they should be joining your email list. So That was a side note. So simple notebook at your checkout if you're a brick and mortar store. In-person events. If you do any in-person events, now that it seems like COVID is slowly things are opening back up again, put an amazing prize out there. And what do people have to do to enter? Not put their name and phone number, their name and email. And that way you can be collecting people's emails from an event that they already like your product and company, okay? A discount or a buy one, get one code, people love that. Hey, you want a BOGO discount? Click here, set up one of your forms, and then they will get emailed a code to use on your site. Social giveaways, okay? So many of us do social giveaways and like this, follow this person, leave a comment. Tell them they have to give you their email in order to enter your social contest. I did that a little bit ago. I'm like, what am I doing? My email list is most important, because I can email directly to them. So that's a great way to convert your social people onto your email list. Hey, I'm doing this awesome giveaway. To enter, DM me your email list or your email address, right? A freebie or a lead magnet. We're going to talk about what this is in a second. Social giveaways and lead magnets we're going to talk a bit about. So I talked about social and how to incorporate your email that way, try and get people off your social or on your email list in addition to. What is a lead magnet? This was one of those terms I was like, what the heck are people talking about? I hear that term all the time. A lead magnet is simply something free that you offer your ideal client in exchange for their email. So the term comes from because it's a lead of a new client, and you're sort of magnetizing them towards you, right? So it's attracting new leads. So that's the only reason why they call it that. So you're offering them something and it's free, and all they need to do is give you their email address in return. So that's what a lead magnet is. So some examples of what a lead magnet are that you could do, promote on social, on your website: an ebook, a top 10 list. If you're lawn bowling, maybe it's like, I don't know, top 10 tips from an expert pro, or what to wear in all weather for lawn bowling. I don't know, but it could be something fun. Think about questions people often ask you for hints, this season's trends, a book or resource list, tips and tricks, a free webinar, right? These are all examples that provide value that people would want to download, and giving my email wouldn't be that big of a deal. Any questions about lead magnet? Pop it in the chat for me. So how to get emails continued. Purchases, right? In person or online. If you don't have a checkout process, you could ask somebody, hey, they're a new client. Do you mind me adding me to your email list? Because, I send out really important information and yada, yada. If you are e-commerce, usually there is an opt-in box where people can check that off, make sure that you're using that. Ask your social followers to join via a link. It could be that simple. Hey, do you want to get more tips, get to know me better? Click here, and you're going to have to create one of those full page forms, right? And on your website, we talked about pop-ups and inline forms, right? So making sure you have those opt-ins on your website, and more than just join my email list. You got to tell them why, what's in it for them, and why should they be joining your email list. We already went through this. So what is an inline form? This is what that inline form looks like on your website, right? And this person, it's Lemonberry, they said, subscribe to our newsletter and be the first to hear about what is happening. But it also has, she has it elsewhere on her site, get 10% off. So when you join, you get a 10% off coupon. So I'd do it if I was buying something. So, okay. So building your email list should always be happening, right? So I mentioned that I was doing this promo on social, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wait a second, I should be growing my email. I'm gonna change how I'm gonna set that up so I can make sure I get my emails. If you're at an event, if you're meeting new people, think about how you can be collecting those emails at all times. The more people you can reach directly, right? This is our goal. I want you to, okay, sorry, that was okay. So 10 emails you could send out next week. And this is just to get brain going. And so you're not feeling like, okay, I'm sold on email marketing, but I don't even know where to start. Welcome to my business. This is what I do. Okay. This is who I am. Have you joined us on social? Here is a discount. Thank you so much for joining. Here's a recipe, maybe if that pertains to your business. Did you know that I offer the following things? Here's an interesting article I think you'll love. Here's tips on how to frequently ask questions, and don't give them all at once, okay? Nobody wants to read 20 FAQs, okay? Give your top two. Introducing a brand new service or product. I have these 5 appointment times available. First come, first serve. We'd like to introduce you to our new team or instructors, right? These are all great examples of easy peasy emails that you could send. People will get to know you better and start to build a connection. So a few closing tips on email marketing that we've gone over. I want you to just start. Okay, as entrepreneurs and small business owners, oftentimes we get in our way. We want to be perfect. Don't wait for perfect. Please jump right in, do it, make some mistakes, and get it working for you. Be consistent, but not annoying or non-existent, right? Serve more than you sell. We talked about that a little bit, making sure you're providing information and not just, oh, me, sell. You need to give them information so that you can build the trust. And if you are overwhelmed, hire somebody to write a package of emails for you. I do that for clients all the time. I actually set up the platform for them. I can do that very quickly, or I write them a series of emails to get them started. It saves time, saves money, saves stress. So just to quickly summarize what we learned today, because we went over a ton and I'm super proud of you for sticking with me. Email marketing is perfect for hitting your client, not hitting them, but reaching them directly, okay? And your potential ones. It's a way of nurturing them along the way until they make a sale from you. It extends your reach, it decreases your dependency on social, and you own your list, which is amazing. The 3 areas we talked about, why and how, okay? How are you going to use email marketing, okay? Understanding why you need email marketing, okay? And what fits with your business the best. We're gonna start and connect right away. Send me an email if you run into any problems in the next 10 days. If you're jumping on board and doing this, I'm happy to help. Just start and dive right in. Choose your email platform, understand the key terms, and just snoop around and get started, right? And then the last one is promote and grow. You need to start and continue to collect email addresses of your potential clients. Think of different ways to reach them and to get those emails, and just start emailing. Ask questions. It's great for market research too, just to say, hey, we're thinking about this. What do you guys think? Hit reply, right? Because that is your captive audience. And like I always say, I know it's a lot, we covered a ton, but don't stress. The important piece is that you're here, you know the importance, and you're ready to get this starting to work for you. So 2 ways I can help, if you are looking for help, is on my website, kitchentableceos.com. I have a package of pre-written, easy fill in the blank templates, like literally examples and fill in your business information, that easy emails that you can do yourself. If you're like, you know what, I just want the first 3 emails done super easy, follow these templates. And if you use the code chamber25, you can get 25% off, okay? The other thing is, if you're like, don't even want to fill in the blanks, I want 3 custom emails done, then I can write 3 custom emails for you for around $249, and I'm happy to do that. We can customize it specifically for your business. I had a client in the fall, I wrote them an email every week for 10 weeks, and they were ecstatic because they didn't have to think about that every week and have it on their back. So you're so welcome, Heidi. So that's 2 ways that I can help if you're interested. And now, in the nick of time, I was like watching my clock the whole time there. Does anybody have any questions about what we discussed today or about your website? And please, I'd love it if you keep me in mind if you need any help with email marketing or your websites and things like that. But any questions about email marketing or things that I could answer to help you be closer to starting this week? Anybody? Raymond,
Yep.
Melissa,
Covered everything.
Ibai. Okay. Faisal, thank you so much for joining. I look forward to seeing you on the other platforms. Melissa, too.
Well, thanks,
Thanks,
Tracy. That was another fabulous session and just a great series overall. Really wonderful information. And again, just a reminder to everybody, I will send out Tracy's presentation and a link to the recording from today, so you could expect to see that in the next day or two. Our next Accelerate Your Business at Lunch sessions will be HR workshops and will include topics like building organizational culture and engaged and productive teams, a deep look at diversity, equity, and inclusion, and attracting and recruiting the right talent. So we hope that you will consider joining us for one or all of those sessions. You can sign up at aurorachamber.on.ca. And again, I just wanted to thank everybody, for joining us. A special thank you to Tracy Smith for the last couple of weeks. It was fabulous, and we hope to see everybody again soon. So we'll have a great afternoon and take care.
Have a great day. Thanks, everyone.
Okay.
Thanks, Sandra.
Bye-bye.